On today's show, Drew Cameron will elevate your sales. Today we have a special segment from Drew Cameron. We launch our brand new course titled Elevated Sales this month, and as usual, we'd like to give out a little free taste of the content. Hi, and welcome to EJA Contractor University. I am your host, Drew Cameron with Flow Odyssey, and today I'm going to talk to you about Sales 3.0, Elevation. This class is going to build on what you've already learned in Sales 2.0, which was Sales Execution. So in the execution class, we teach you about the process, the steps that you need to go through in order to execute effectively in the home on a sales call. What Elevation does is it takes your foundational skills and mindset and layers it on top of the process. Because once you're executing with a process and you kind of have a rhythm down, right? It's now taking that process and executing it better, getting more refined, more successful, more streamlined, and just a little bit more comfortable and confident with the approach, and allowing your true nature and ability to come out through that process. And so we need communication skills to layer on top of the process. Because once you understand the process and the blocking and the timing of the process, then you can kind of start to work with what it is that you're going to say when you're in the home. You can kind of start to pay a little bit more attention to the customer and be prepared to respond to the customer. So we're going to talk about what does that mean. So Sales 3.0 Elevation is all about the skills and the strategy to elevate the consumer buying experience and accelerate sales performance, or the clip at which or the rate at which customers buy from you. So the skills that are part of this class are going to be, number one, be intentional. You've got to determine how you're going to show up. If you don't have an intention, you're going to get a result. And if you have an intention, you're going to get a result. The key is being intentional. It doesn't guarantee you success, but higher probability of success. So we want to make sure that you're intentional in the process. Number two, we then want to make sure that you're in the right mindset, right? I like to call it mind flow. A lot of people know it as mindset. I want your mind to always be in flow, in a state of flow. What is flow? Flow is peak performance. And when you're in an optimal state of mind, you can actually have an optimal performance more often than not. Again, no state guarantees you an optimal performance, but you're more probable to have a better performance if you're in the right mind. So mind flow comes out of being intentional, because you set your intention and then you can execute as to how you're going to show up, what you're going to think, what you're going to say, how you're going to align with your customer. From there, you'll work on building trust. We don't build relationships with customers in the home. We build a position of trust with a customer. We don't have enough time to build a relationship, and it's not a relationship typically that is in the mindset of what a customer would think is a relationship. So we're trying to establish trust so communication can happen. And so when we're in a good place, then we can show up as the highest version of ourselves and work on building trust with others. From there, it's about reading the room, right? Knowing who you're sitting with, who you're working with, the types of people that you're working with. That's where we get into communication styles, personality types, social types, and such. And there's no right or wrong personality or communication or social style or type. It's just understanding what they are and who's in the room and how do you have to be responsive to those people. From there, we can then develop effective communication, because once I know how people communicate or don't communicate, want to be communicated with, and how I communicate and what I'm comfortable communicating with, then I can adapt, adjust, and execute my social style and communication type to theirs, which is going to be most effective for them.
Hi, I'm Daryl Yashinsky.
Hey, I'm Bob Larkin.
Many of our contractors meet with us monthly, and you, chances are, have met with us monthly. We found that members have deeper and greater needs.
So we came up with Next Level Coaching, which is we meet a lot more often, and there is accountability to deal with some of the issues of money, growth, finding employees, having an exit strategy to get off this roller coaster. These are the issues that contractors want answers to, and we can provide those answers in Next Level Coaching.
When you join Next Level Coaching, you're going to find solutions that are easy to implement and logical. most importantly, we hold you accountable to specifics. We're going to meet twice a month and have specific to-dos. And with those specific to-dos, we're going to discuss and dive into your financials in a very granular way. You're going to have a clear budget. We'll be able to establish pricing. We're going to help you create leadership programs that build your people. We're going to help you find people. You may think of differing ways to engage employees that will keep them more involved by joining Next Level Coaching.
So if you're interested in making more money, growing your company, finding good employees, and developing an exit strategy, give Dale and I a call. We'd be happy to talk to you about Next Level Coaching.
And we're going to see you on the next level.
Once I understand what effective communication is, then I begin the communication process. Now, in a sales relationship or sales call or this process in the home, that begins with effective questions. So we start asking questions, crafting questions, if you will, in a meaningful fashion that will be digestible to the customer. The time frame in which we do those questions as well is also very important. Once we've completed crafting effective questions, then obviously we have to listen. So listening is the next skill that's important in the process. You layer listening in, and the different types of listening that takes effect in the home or even in any level of communication is what's important. So understanding how to be a good listener, because listening is a skill and one that you need to develop. From there, it's about, okay, how do I now respond and share information to people? Because if I'm also going to be listening, they're going to be asking me questions, and so I have to make sure that I share information in a compelling way that is meaningful to them, as well as responding to their questions in a meaningful and compelling way. So that's skill number 8. Skill number 9 is what we call money conditioning. You've got to be comfortable talking about money in the home. Money is no different than a feature or a benefit of what it is that you are offering. And so much like equipment has various features and benefits, that equipment then has another feature, which is the money. It's what is it, how much is it, and how can you pay for it? What would be the most effective way to pay for it? And so you have to be very skilled and comfortable and confident in talking about the money. And if you're not skilled and confident and comfortable talking about the money, then what you're going to find more often than not is that that's something that's going to get in your way and trip you up. And it tends to trip you up towards the end of your time with the customer. I don't like to say that there's an actual sales process where we all of a sudden come to a conclusion at a specific point in time on our visit with a customer, and that's where the money will trip you up. Because this could be 1, 2, 3, or 4 possible visits. Could be a multitude of phone calls, possible emails, text messages, and maybe even video conversations as well. So from there, once we talk about the money, we then talk about playing off of that, which is payment options, financing, what I like to call leverage. Leverage is a means to an end, and financing or payment options make it easy. So our job is to make what we offer valuable and affordable, and the affordability piece comes in on the leverage piece. And then lastly, the last skill that we talk about is being compelling. Now, you're going to be compelling throughout your time with a customer, but the key is to pull it all together and have a meaningful conversation so that the money's not the last thing that you have the customer thinking about. It's the compelling life that they could have. It might be the lackluster life that they have been living, but you're going to hopefully design a compelling solution for them, have a compelling conversation with them, and give them a compelling future to look forward to. So that's an overview of what we'll be discussing in the Learning Management System class, Sales 3.0 Elevation. You're going to learn the skills and the strategy to take you and the consumer buying process. It's not a sales process, it's a consumer buying process. So once we can take the consumer buying process to the next level, then we accelerate our own performance. So we'll see you in the next module.
Awesome content right there from Mr. Drew Cameron, as usual. Be sure to share this on Facebook, and if that's where you're watching this, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.